He's 13-0 with 11 KOs. We're going to be talking about Joseph Parker. He defeated a fighter by the name of Jason Pettaway. March the 6th, 2015. T Street Controversy, T Street Controversy Live.
John Conway calls a stop to this contest. For your winner by TKO, and still the WBA, PABA, and Oriental Heavyweight Champion, Lupe Soleil Laui, Joseph Parker!
Pat Leonard puts the WBO belt around him. Joseph pretty happy with that. Monty Beatham's in there.
Here we are with the interview, and then we're going to talk about the fight and who he is.
Joseph Parker, congratulations on the win. But first of all, to fight at home, in your hometown, in your backyard, and you come out and you feel the love from the supporters. What does that feel like?
First of all, I just want to say thank the Lord that they were able to finish this fight, and no one got badly injured. I'm always excited to fight back home, especially start whooping when I was raised and brought up. And thank everyone for coming out to support not only me but the undercard fighters. I'd like to thank my opponent for putting up a good fight, and really appreciate it. Thanks, Jason.
The game plan was to come out and all guns blazing and put on a lot of hurt. You did that later in the piece in the third and fourth round. You let them off a little bit in the third. Your thoughts on the victory itself?
No, getting the victory is always great. I feel happy that we're training hard, and it's a good outcome. But always was a right performance for the start of the year. I think I was maybe looking for the knockout too fast and too early, but we got the victory, so happy.
It's more than all right, mate. It's more than happy. Now, when you think about this opponent for yourself, it's different to ones previously. This one's on the back foot. This one's trying to get away from you, which makes it hard. He doesn't expose his chin. Do you enjoy that outcome in that cat and mouse scenario?
Hey, I had a bit of trouble with Nasser Minter last year in March in Germany, chasing a fighter who runs away, and I'd like to thank my coach Kevin for keeping on teaching me for the 6 or 7 weeks around Vegas, and I feel I've gone a bit better in chasing down my opponent, so it's a learning process.
Just one more question before we talk to KB about how you're going. As Klitschko, now you go and join Klitschko, the champion of the world. Your thoughts on that and how great that's going to be for your career moving forward, Joseph?
Oh, it's definitely going to be great to aspire against the champion while he prepares for his fight. It's an honor for me. I don't want to test myself and see where I am in the sport. Klitschko's been a champ for 10 years, so it's definitely going to be a great experience for me and Izu who are flying over to Islam.
With a champion fighter, you need a champion coach. Now, KB, are you happy with the efforts from Joseph Parker, showing a range of skills, especially cutting off the ring?
Yeah, I thought it was a good performance tonight. Not a great performance. We set pretty high standards.
He's just trainer. Let her hear him out before I cut it off.
There were a few things I thought Joe looked a little sluggish in tonight. But he came away with a nice knockout win when he wasn't really firing as good as I thought he would be.
How often are we going to see him fighting at home now? He's in the top 10 for 2 organisations worldwide. Do we get to see much more of the young man?
Our plans are to fight in New Zealand another 3 or 4 times this year. So, Joe loves fighting at home. We love the hometown advantage. We love the support, and that's why we fight here.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, let's talk about him. Now, first, listen, I understand, the fans from New Zealand that Joseph Parker is your guy. In my initial video prediction for this fight, I actually said, he was a little bit mouthy. You guys got to understand, stop being so sensitive. When I say a fighter is mouthy, that's actually a good thing, in my opinion. So just stop being so sensitive. I respect the sport. I respect box. And he's a very, very good fighter. We're talking about Joseph Parker, who defeated Jason Pettaway right here. Well, actually, he did. The fight was on the 5th. I didn't get to watch it until later on the 5th because, remember, I'm in the United States. And I said many times that I got to go through hell to be able to watch a fight live, but, somebody sent me the YouTube link. I got a chance to check it out. I'm T Street Controversy. I call the show T Street Controversy Live. I'm a video reporter of RealCombatMedia.com, and I cover every single major fight live. So, as you heard, he's now the WBO Oriental. He's the WBO Oriental champion. What that means is, he's ranked in the top 15 by the WBO. Also, he has one of those belts. The Oriental's going to lead up to the regional belt. Then it's going to lead up to the intercontinental belt. Then that belt's going to lead up to the the mandatory, you know, for who has it right now, Klitschko. But we're not even going to talk about him getting a title shot right now, because when he becomes champion, if he becomes champion, it's not going to be for another couple of years, and Klitschko may not even be around. So I'm not going to start talking about him and Klitschko yet, outside the fact, I'm talking about fighting in the ring, outside of the fact that, well, you heard him, he's going to be going to spar with Vladimir Klitschko for the Brian Jennings, the Tyson Fury, the Vladimir Klitschko versus Brian Jennings fight that's going to be in Madison Square Garden, April 25th, 2015. I am going to be there in the building as media. So, you know, maybe Joseph Parker will be there. That would be awesome if he is there. You know, maybe I'll be able to get an interview. But what I do is, listen, when it comes to fighters like this, at the level he's at right now, 13-0 with 11 KOs, I'm not too critical of them. You know, guys like Anthony Joshua, I'm not saying, you know, oh yeah, you know, Anthony Joshua would beat Deontay Wilder right now. Joseph Parker would beat a Mike Perez right now. I'm not going that far. Yes, I may feel that they can, but at the same time, it's not doing them justice, because right now, why you giving them criticism about who they can beat or who they can't beat when they're still learning and they're still coming up in the rankings? Now, for me to, no, by the way, to talk about that Anthony Joshua versus Joseph Parker, that can be a big super fight later on. I'm talking about 2-3 years, maybe 4-5 years down the line. You got Joseph Parker, who's the youngest of the two, with he's 23 years old, and then you got, hold on 1 minute, my bad. You got Joseph Parker, who's the younger of the two at 23, and you got Anthony Joshua, who is the gold medalist at 25. But like I said, what we're looking at for what a guy like Joseph Parker is, we're looking at how he's going to grow. We want to see him get rounds into his belt. You know, we want to see what he brings to the table as far as, you know, can he sell a fight, things like that. So I look at him as being very good. He's about 6'4", 230, a little bit over 230. What is he, about 235 or so. He punches with conviction, meaning that his punches mean something. For example, you know, he has a very great jab for 6'4" heavyweight. He has a very great left hook and right hook. He has the mobility, and, you know, if you didn't see this fight, what he did was he fought a guy who was constantly moving around the ring. So you saw, you know, for him to be a heavyweight up and coming, you want to see stuff like that. You want to see how he adjusts to whereas in if he was fighting, to whereas in before he was fighting guys that was right there in front of him, to whereas in he fought a guy in Pettyweight who was doing a lot of movement, also like looking like to me like he was afraid to get hit. But, you know, he scored the 4th round TKO stoppage, and at this point in time right now, he is ranked, I believe he should be moving up to like number 8 ranked in the WBA as far as heavyweights is concerned, and he's in the top 15 with the capturing the WBO Oriental title. I'm T Street Controversy, video reporter, RealCombatMedia.com, and what I do is, once I cover a fighter once, then that means I've added them to the rotation. So, for example, people say, why haven't you covered this fighter yet? Why haven't you covered that fighter yet? Perfect example is, now that I've covered this one Joseph Parker fight, now I'm going to be covering all Joseph Parker fights. It's simple logic. So therefore, I may watch all of these fights. Don't ask me, did you see the Joseph Parker this? Did you see the Anthony Joshua this? I've seen all those fights. I've watched them. It's just that I don't cover the fights. So now, once again, I will be covering all Joseph Parker fights. T Street Controversy, T Street Controversy Live.